Hello, everybody. It's the coach. This is Madden 20 on EA Sports. On tap is what should be a pretty good matchup between the Washington Redskins and the Cincinnati Bengals. With that, let's get up to Paul Brown Stadium in Cincinnati. For the call, we bring in our broadcast team, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Okay, Coach. Well, with the Ohio River and the hills of Kentucky just to our right, we welcome you into Paul Brown Stadium in Cincinnati, Ohio. The enthusiasm of this Cincinnati crowd in full effect a moment ago as their Bengals took the field to the delight of this sold-out crowd. And they're all set as they'll match up with the Washington Redskins. Brandon Godden and Charles Davis with you from our broadcast perch. And, Charles, as we get this thing started, what are you going to be keeping your eye on?
Special teams. Field position is always a big determiner in a ball game. Who sets their offense up for success the best, that team will win the game.
Here's Randy Bullock now to put toe to leather, and we are underway from Cincinnati. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. So out comes the Redskins offense now onto the field. They're led onto the field by their quarterback, the former Houston Cougar, Case Keenum.
Case Keenum won't overwhelm you with his athleticism, won't wow you with his arm, but somehow, when he's on the field and he's in charge, the ball gets moved by his offensive teammates.
A first carry now for Thompson. And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35. Give the Redskins 13 there and a first down. That O-line, they cleared a big hole there on that run.
The athleticism of offensive lines continues to evolve, and we're seeing it here. Not only are they controlling things right at the line of scrimmage, but they're able to get upfield to get to what we call the second and the third levels. You know, get to the linebacker spot, the secondary spot, getting all the way downfield with their blocking, which helps keep the running back clean.
They'll try to continue that trend here this afternoon. A first carry now for Adrian Peterson. And a 6-yard gain gets him right around the 43.
And once again, leverage wins. The offensive line, lower than the defensive front. They moved them and found some good space for the guy carrying the ball.
The last run got 6, now 2nd and 4. Shotgun handoff to Thompson. Still a couple yards short of the first as the 3-yard gain brings up a third down. And for this offense, yellow highlighter around Trent Williams.
As well there should be. A Pro Bowl, all-pro type of a left tackle. So mobile, you could also see him as a tight end. This guy is a terrific football player.
Blue 20!
They'll run it. Here's Peterson. And he's got the first down yardage as he takes it down to the 49. Third down turns to first with that 5-yard pickup.
I don't know about you, but that almost felt like old-time football there. 3rd and 2 is not necessarily just a running down anymore. A lot of times they want to throw the ball. They went back to the roots and powered forward and got the first down.
So they'll come up in Bengals territory now with a 1st and 10 at the 49-yard line. Now it's AP, Adrian Peterson. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave them with a 2nd and 3.
This drive is pretty clear. Almost feels like old-school fundamentals, doesn't it? Want to impose their will on the defense. What's that, 5 straight runs?
Yeah, 5 straight carries to start this drive, and like you said, the way it's working, they may just stick with it.
Yeah, let's go second.
Throwing on 2nd and 3. Keenum. He'll get this to his speedster, Paul Richardson. And he's got another first down as the tackle's going to be made at the Bengals' 24-yard line. first down. Thompson. And able to get about 3 as he's taken down right at the 20. And the Bengals starting defensive unit now.
Geno Atkins is an absolute force as a defensive tackle. Forces every offense that he plays against to alter their game plan.
On 2nd and 7, Keenum looking middle, and it's incomplete. Jordan Reed was the intended target, and it's 3rd down. Eighth play of this opening drive coming up. This is 3rd down. From the gun, it's Keenum. And he's unable to haul it in, so it falls incomplete over the middle third of the field, and that brings up 4th. Some mistakes already in the first quarter. If he holds on to that one, 1st down.
Yeah, and I guarantee you that at least one defensive back out there has reminded him of that fact, trying to get into his head and hoping that'll affect him the rest of the game.
So now on 4th down, the Redskins will hand things over to their kicker, Dustin Hopkins. Right hash, 37-yard attempt. And Hopkins' kick is good. And it's 3-0 as the Redskins strike first. Able to move the ball on that drive. Yes, just 3 points, but 4 first downs were in there.
Yeah, and you can look at it and feel pretty good about the whole thing and think, okay, this should continue throughout this ball game. On the flip side, if you're a defender, it's almost like, whew, we only gave up 3. They moved the ball on us pretty well.
Following the made field goal for 3, Hopkins now to kick it off. This one taken from the 7. And nice work on the return as they'll start their drive just past the 30-yard line. So now the Bengals get ready for their first drive. They'll be led out by the former Texas Christian University Horned Frog, Andy Dalton.
And there's no substitute for experience in this league, and what it usually leads to, a whole lot of confidence. Andy Dalton is sharp with where to go with the football now. I think he sees reads before they actually even happen. He can sense them now, and he is one of the better quarterbacks in the NFL.
And here's a good way to kick off a drive, complete over the middle. And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. It's a gain of 13, and the Bengals have a first down. So on that play, defense was in the zone. They ran a crossing route offensively, but the defense there, you got to be good with communication, don't you?
You certainly do, and it's not something that is really evident when you watch it on the screen. But everyone's talking, communicating, pointing, and it keeps you from chasing receivers because you have a specific zone you have to cover. When a receiver's in your zone and he crosses to another one, you got to let your guy know. They got a completion there, but I like the discipline they showed to stay in their proper areas and then make the tackle.
Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on first down. Dalton on the draw to Mixon. And an alley to run. And he's going to get this down near the 30-yard line. They'll get 14 on that one. Good for a Bengal first down. That opening drive rhythm continues right into play number 3.
Whatever they decided that they wanted to run before the game, it's working pretty well for them right now. Moving the ball downfield at a nice rate. And guess what? I think the chain crew might have to get a little oxygen over there. They have to keep moving downfield with first downs on each play.
So 1st and 10 now from the 30.
Hey, keep it up, keep it up. Mike's 54. Mike's 54.
Now Joe Mixon. A short gain here, maybe a yard to the 29.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
51 for Mike.
On 2nd and 9, Dalton got a man open. It's Ross. And they'll have it in the red zone before he crosses over out of bounds. 10 yards there on a Bengal first.
Check Mike 54. Mike 54. Watch the curl. Watch the curl. Watch the curl.
Dalton operating in the red zone now. And his throw here's incomplete. An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10.
Here I come again.
Throwing again. Dalton. And they're going to get him. He's sacked back around the 28.
Get him, boys. Yeah.
How about that? One of the so-called little guys putting the pressure on. That was a strong safety. When I was in college, we often called that a lightning blitz.
So the sack, and now it's 3rd and long for Dalton and the Bengals.
Stop your whining.
Out of the gun, it's Dalton. Well, the two men come together, and it's incomplete. Excellent work defensively, brings up 4th down. You can tell they were hoping for a flag there offensively. Several on the sideline motioning, hey, why not a penalty? Why not a penalty? What did you see?
Yeah, I think you've got to let them play, and the officials are instructed. If there's contact coming from both sides, no flag. Let them fight it out.
And forces 4th down. And Bullock will put this one through, and that will tie us at 3-3. So a return of serve, so to speak, here on the 2nd drive of our game as they respond to that opening field goal with 3 of their own.
I like that. Going a little tennis on me,
I know you like to mix it up with sports.
They crack a forehand back out, and they get a backhand. What was the return on?
It was a backhand.
I like that.
Really good backhand.
With some nice top spin on the whole thing. I love it. Almost a mirror image when you really get down to it. I thought that was pretty good stuff.
Each team with a possession, each team with a field goal as the kick is away. This will be taken in at the 1. And he'll be brought down at the 23, make it the 24-yard line. Out comes Washington's offense as they get set to take over here. And last time able to get 3. It's not what they wanted. They wanted 6, but they got at least something. They mustered something out of the drive.
They'll take it. I like the way you've described it. Not ideal, but they'll take it. Anything to put some points on the board. But this time on offense, they don't even want to see the field goal kicker trot on the field. They want that ball in the end zone.
Yeah, they'll be going for 6. A good start to the drive. That's caught out on the left side. And they'll get it all the way up about 5 yards shy of midfield. And a nice gain of 21 yards. The big play to start him out has him at the 45 already.
Here we go. Watch the pass.
Peterson. And he will make his way back to where he started from, and that's all, as we will make our way to the 2-minute warning. We remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll take you to Orlando and Jonathan Coachman. Coach will have highlights and analysis of this first half, one that's featured no touchdowns as of yet on either side.
So his job's a little bit easier for this halftime report.
Need to give the coach some highlights here.
Yes, we do.
Call it about a gain of 3, and they'll be looking at a 3rd and 7 coming up. Clock running as the Redskins try to hurry up. Throwing on 3rd down, Keenum. And he drops this off to Thompson, complete. And he'll only get this to the 47. He needed a few more yards to pick up the first.
So much about this game is just understanding situations and then having to execute, isn't it? Guard the first down sticks. Don't let them get there. And they rallied and made the tackle.
So on 4th down, the Redskins will call on Tressway to punt it away. Back deep, Alex Erickson. And this one will not be returnable as it sails out of bounds. Now the Cincinnati offense ready to see what they can do here. And we're under a minute to go here in what's been an even first half, all tied up.
Yeah, still time to make something happen, too. A couple completions, just string them together. Could get into field goal range. Let's see what happens.
Now Dalton with a 1st and 10. And this will be broken up and incomplete. Now a penalty flag down, and they may be going backward here. So a holding penalty, and that'll send them backwards.
You know, they're trying not to do that. I mean, we know that, right? We talk to them all the time. But sometimes the defensive guys just put you in awkward situations, and you get caught grabbing their jerseys.
And he's going to have the hook up to Ross. A very solid gain of 27. Nice completion there for Andy Dalton. Charles, you worked some of his games when he was at TCU. Now you've worked his games in the NFL. What progression have you seen?
I've seen a guy who took over as a freshman in college and got better and better each year. Always added a little bit more to his game, gets stronger. But the best part about him is he's always been accurate.
One play has him up past the 40 already, and another 1st and 10. From the gun, Dalton looks to throw. Open man is Ross, complete. Now the Bengals going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the first half. Could we get a touchdown in this first half after all? It's 1st and 10. Andy Dalton. And the catch good. It's Eifert. And he gets this inside the 35-yard line. The Bengals going to use the second of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 37 seconds to play in this first half. From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. Another chance for Dalton. Got his man, it's Eifert. Give him a couple on the catch, it's 2nd and 8.
Yeah, that one was covered pretty well because they were trying to leak the tight end out into the flat. I think they were hoping he could catch and turn upfield and pick up the first down.
So 2nd and 8 here after the pass play for 2 yards on 1st down.
You gotta get the ball, D. Get the ball right here. Let's go.
This will be Dalton again. And that is incomplete. A lot of force bearing down on him there. He could not hang on. It's 3rd down.
They went with a dime look on defense. 2 extra defensive backs on the field and covered up essentially every blade of grass. That allowed them to disrupt the play.
The 22 is the line to gain here on 3rd down. Dalton here from the gun. He drops it off for Bernard. And he will have a first down at about the 21-yard line. And that gain of 9 buys them a new set of downs. Now the Bengals going to signal for their third and final timeout as they stop it with 16 seconds to go in half number 1. So out comes the field goal team now for the second time here today. He hit his first, this one from 38. Bullock's kick is good. And they will take the lead here in this battle of field goals. It's 6-3. Now the drive ends in just 3, but they'll take it. Looks like they'll head to the locker room, barring something unfortunate in front on the scoreboard.
Yeah, they may not be jumping up and down and celebrating because they have the lead, but still, any little momentum in a game like this is important to a team, and they'll feel real good about going in and regrouping, knowing that they are out in front.
After the field goal now, it's Bullock to kick it away. This one taken from the 7. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. Out there ready for this next drive, the Redskins offense. Likely time for just one final play, and then it'll be off to the locker room to talk about how they can erase this deficit.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people look at it and go, well, maybe you take a shot here. Maybe you get some momentum going into the half. What's the flip side of that? You do something crazy, quarterback gets hit, ball comes free, and now you're down an even bigger margin. Go ahead and take this one, go to the locker room, start over.
So one play, and they're already just shy of midfield.
Defense, keep it up, guys.
The final shot before the break, Keenum. And his throw's going to be incomplete. So if you like field goals, this is your game. 6-3, 3 field goals at the break. As we'll head down to Orlando, that's where we find our man Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
All right, Brandon, thanks very much. Welcome, everybody, to our abbreviated version of the EA Sports Halftime Report. This one's been as good as advertised. Just a field goal separating these two teams, as they've already made their way back out of the locker room. So to bring you the story of the second half, let's get you right back out to Brandon Godden.
Thank you, sir. A field goal separates these two teams as we come back for this second half. The Bengals set to receive. They have the lead and the football to begin quarter number 3. This one fielded at the 5. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line.
Get ready. Get ready.
The Bengal offense now with a football first here to begin quarter number 3. They have the lead. Now they'll be looking for some separation here as we begin the third quarter.
I like the way you term that, because now I think they go a little bit deeper into their playbook. They like what they did in the first half. That worked okay. But in order to get the separation that you just talked about, change things up a little bit. Change your tendencies, try and hit them a little bit more with some things they didn't see in the first half.
We'll see if they do just that.
Not a big run on the first play of the drive, but that doesn't necessarily mean it was a bad play. Sometimes you're just trying to settle in, get your guys a little bit of contact, and get things moving.
Here's 2nd and 7 now from the 28. This is Mixon on the draw. And give him 6 yards here as he stopped near the 35 at the 34.
So much of the game today, we're looking for hybrid players, guys who can do a combination of jobs. And anyone who plays a strong safety position, now more than ever, is a hybrid type player. half defensive back that covers passes and half linebacker that makes tackles. We just saw the linebacker make that play.
Gets it to his running back, Bernard. 10 yards there on a Bengal first.
Would it be safe to say that as precise as routes are supposed to be run in the NFL, maybe they're not quite as precise in college ball?
That's accurate, yeah.
And I think we saw a college route in the NFL there. Just find the soft spot, find the dead zone, and find the first down. And that's what he just did.
Hey, hands up. Lead. Let's go. Watch left, watch left, watch left. He's time right there.
Mixon with a first down carry. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. 10 yards there on a Bengal first.
That was good, tough running right up the middle. And if the defense can't penetrate and make him slow his pace or change direction, that's often the end result.
In Washington territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 46. Now Bernard. He'll get only a couple down to the 44.
That's a good play by the guys on the defensive side of the ball. Held him to a gain of 2. And that changes the playbook a little bit now for the guy calling plays. 2nd and 8. Now he's got to probably think about going to the air instead of maybe staying with the ground game.
From the 44, Dalton. Over the middle, that's caught by Ross. Only 3 yards on the catch. It's 3rd down.
That's it. Big hit.
And the Redskins have an extra man in the secondary here on 3rd. Operating from the gun, Dalton. Under heavy pressure, and down goes Dalton on the sack. The DN, Jonathan Allen, making sure his presence is felt.
There's a little bit of defense right there. Nickel set, 5 defensive backs. They just snuffed out every route that was going. Quarterback never got rid of the football.
Here's Kevin Huber now, as he should be able to pin him back deep here with his first punt. Out of bounds as he appeared to be looking for the corner. He got it. They're going to mark this at the 4-yard line.
That is how you flip field position. That's an absolute bomb of a punt. Downs it inside the 5-yard line. Absolutely ideal.
From that position, you're hoping to get it down inside the 15, inside the 5. Superb. From his goal line here, Keenum. And this one complete to Reed. And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. 2nd and right at a yard. That last catch short of the marker by just a yard leaves him with a very manageable 2nd and 1. Throwing is Keenum. That's going to be caught by Richardson. And they'll bring him down here right around the 17-yard line. 4 yards the pickup, 1st down. And this will probably be the last play of the quarter. They'll run on 1st down. Thompson. And he's going to be stopped here for no gain. And that's going to take us to the end of the 3rd quarter of play. Back now in Cincinnati. It's been a very hotly contested game to this point. Just a field goal separating these two teams as we get set for the fourth quarter. Looking to throw on second down. Keenum nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Geno Atkins, the defensive tackle, getting in there for a loss of 5.
You know, on these types of plays, we're always looking to assess blame. Okay, where did it break down? Sometimes it's just a great play.
The Redskins on third down, just 1 for 3 thus far. This will be 3rd and 15. Shotgun snap for Keenum. That's complete. Terry McLaurin with it. And he'll only get this to the 17, well shy of what he needed. The completion good for only 6, and that'll bring up 4th. Here's Tressway now, standing just outside his own goal line. And this is away. It's a high kick, and he got all of it. Here comes Erickson. Officially, that'll be a 63-yard punt. Well done. And the Bengals will take over here 1st and 10. Cincinnati now ready to take the field. A little less than 4 minutes remaining, and the margin for error is small with this slim lead. Operate within your 4-minute offense here, Charles?
Definitely. Remember, the 4-minute offense doesn't always correspond to what's up on the clock. What they need to do is play a little bit of keep away right now. Run the clock down. Make sure their opponent doesn't get the ball back. Their dream scenario, get enough first downs and make them eat up their timeouts so the game ends when you're kneeling down with the football.
Clock continuing to run. They'll probably wind this all the way before snapping it on second down. Now a carry for Bernard. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. It's a gain of 13, and the Bengals have a first down. Although his reputation as a speedy runner precedes him, it's always fun to watch him work.
It is eye-opening, isn't it? Because when you see him get the ball and just go, in addition to that speed, it helps out his blockers. They don't have to hold blocks for long because he's just going to speed right past them.
They'll run it here with Bernard. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. 10 yards there on a Bengal first.
I have to chuckle to myself a little bit, Brandon, because right now I could be in that huddle with that offensive line, and I know exactly what they're saying. If you call a pass play here, we're going to call a timeout. Run the football. We've got control of this thing. Get him behind us and let's go.
Their time to shine. Not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10. 3 points separating these two sides with 2 minutes left to go in the fourth. So the Bengals in possession of the football here as we get you reset. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. On first down, Mixon. And the big boys up front, they're going to stop him right at the line. And now we'll see a timeout used on defense as they stop it right out of the break with 1:57 to go in the ballgame. Another running situation on the doorstep as they come up 2nd and 10. They'll stay on the ground. Mixon again. And he gets this inside the 35-yard line. Whistles now and a timeout. So defensively, they burn it here with 1:51 left. So they'll come up first and 10 now from the 33.
Let's go, D. Big series right here.
They'll run it now out of the gun. The Redskins going to go ahead and use their final timeout as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming second down play.
Here we go. Here we go. Here we go.
On second down, here's Mixon. He'll pick up only a yard there, and it'll leave him with a 3rd and 7.
I like a guy who understands the situation. I also like a guy who you look at him and you say, that looks like a guy who knows the coach is going to say, guess what? You drop this one, you'll be carrying around the training facility for an entire week.
Maybe flashback to high school or college, carrying it around campus, right?
The old gauntlet drill, right? Anyone get the ball out while he's sitting in class and bring it back to the coach? He's in big trouble.
On 3rd down, Bernard. And this effort will not get it done. He stopped well short of the first down at the 29. We've now seen 3 consecutive 1-yard gains, and it brings up 4th down. So on 4th down, out trots the kicker in a big spot here. This one from 46 yards out. And Bullock will put this one through. And the lead will increase to 6 now. It's 9-3. So he remains perfect, 3 for 3 in the field goal department.
And it's so important for any offense to have an ace like him up their sleeve, isn't it? Because now you know what his range is, and as soon as your offense gets there, you're pretty much counting on 3 points going up on the board.
After the field goal now, it's Bullock to kick it away. This is fielded at the chalk of the 10. And a good return. He's across the 35-yard line, right around the 36. Out there ready for this next drive, the Redskins offense. Critical condition here, obviously. Got to hope to get something quick right and then maybe take that shot deep.
And once they do take the big shot, you've got to worry on defense. Of course, no one getting behind the defense and make it an easy throw. But nowadays, it's not just the ball being tipped in the air and people in the end zone in a cluster. It's that guy that's short of the end zone who comes up and ends up making the play because he goes unguarded. So there's a lot to think about if you're playing defense in this situation.
We'll see if they can cover all their bases. They'll try again from the 36 on 2nd and 10.
Stay situation. Let's go.
He's back to throw. He's going to let it fly. And he can't corral it. That would have wrapped it up if he'd been able to hold on. Instead, it brings up 3rd down. So back-to-back incompletions, and that has him staring at a 3rd and 10. One last throw for Keenum. Oh, a scrap for the football, and he's going to come down with it. Well, going into the final play of this game, they knew that they needed some type of a miracle there at the very end, but they couldn't get it done. However, we were treated to really a spectacular affair.
Even though they didn't finish it off, you're exactly right. They took us down to the last play. You're wondering, could it happen? Possibly, even though we both knew it was a long shot.
So that'll just about do it for Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports. For more, log on to easports.com. It's a win for the Bengals as we say so long from Cincinnati.